Investors got whiplash from President Trump's conflicting comments about a new pandemic stimulus package. So stocks initially sold off after the president tweeted he was pulling the plug on stimulus talks until after the election. But just hours later, Trump tweeted he was, quote, ready to sign right now if lawmakers sent him a standalone bill for sending $1,200 stimulus checks to Americans, $25 billion for airlines, and $135 billion for small businesses. Well, we have stock futures rallying on the prospect of that right now. We've got Dow futures up more than 200 points, NASDAQ futures up better than 100, and S&P futures up about 30 points. So are the stimulus talks dead or not? Yahoo Finance's Emily McCormick is here with more. Good morning, Emily. So has House Speaker Nancy Pelosi responded at all to those tweets from President Trump?
Good morning, Alexis. And House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has so far issued an official statement in response to President Donald Trump's Twitter post from yesterday afternoon, when he wrote that he had instructed his negotiators to halt stimulus talks until after the election. Now, in a statement, Pelosi said, quote, walking away from coronavirus talks demonstrates that President Trump is unwilling to crush the virus as is required by the HEROES Act. That's the House Democrats' $2.2 trillion proposal. She added, quote, he shows his contempt for science, his disdain for our heroes in healthcare, first responders, sanitation, transportation, food workers, teachers, and others, and he refuses to put money in workers' pockets unless his name is printed on the check, end quote. I do want to point out that Trump did add in subsequent Twitter posts, as you outlined last night, that he would back a number of standalone virus relief measures, including another round of $1,200 direct checks to taxpayers, $25 billion in airline payroll support, and $135 billion for the Paycheck Protection Program, each of which would be paid for using unused funds from the CARES Act. Now, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has not yet officially responded to that set of remarks from Trump, though we are seeing contracts on the three major indices trading higher. So traders apparently hoping now that stimulus talks in some form may not be completely off the table. Brian and Alexis.
Emily, also looking at airline stocks pre-market, they're taking off on this news.
They absolutely are, Brian. Just taking a look here, we have shares of American Airlines, Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, so also those cruise line stocks, Delta Airlines, Wynn Resorts, and Hilton, all trading higher. So really getting a bid here for those reopening stocks, those travel and leisure names that had been hit hard by the pandemic and which stand to benefit here from some form of stimulus getting passed. Now, I do want to point out that Airlines for America, the trade association representing major airlines, did release a statement this morning in response to Trump's calls for more airline aid, with the group's president, Nick Calio, saying, quote, we appreciate the president's tweet showing his continued support for U.S. airline employees. We remain hopeful that either the president or Congress will act swiftly to save these jobs. We need action now, end quote. So again, developments around stimulus talks, definitely something traders will be eyeing today. We do see stock futures trading higher in the pre-market session. Brian, Alexis.